Welcome to Medicare 360, where we simplify Medicare so you can make confident decisions about your health and your retirement. Today's topic is one I get asked about every single day. Do I need Medicare supplement, and how does it actually work? Medicare supplements, also called Medigap, are one of the least understood and most important pieces of Medicare. Some people swear by them, some people are confused by them, and others don't even realize what they are until they're facing medical bills. Today, we're going to break it all down: what Medicare supplements are, what they cover, and what they don't, how they're different from Medicare Advantage, who's the best suited for, and how timing matters more than people realize. Before we talk about supplements, we do need to understand how Original Medicare works. Original Medicare has two parts, which is Part A, hospital coverage, Part B, doctor and outpatient services. Here's the most people point that most people miss. Original Medicare has no out-of-pocket maximum. That means Medicare pays 80%. You are responsible for the remaining 20%, and there's no cap on that 20%. So it could be a long hospital stay, a cancer treatment, outpatient surgery. That 20% could add up fast. And that's where Medicare supplements do come in. So I did want to go over a little bit more deep dive on the cost to Original Medicare. So Part A, as I mentioned, um, is for hospital. There is a deductible of $1,736 for an inpatient hospital stay. Then after that, you do pay for day 61 to 90, $434 each day. And then days 91 to 150 is $868 each day, up to a 60 lifetime reserve days. And then after 150 days, you pay all costs. So it could get quite expensive going into the hospital if you are on Original Medicare. Also, keep in mind that Part A premium for most people is $0 if you worked for more than 10 years, or you could use your spousal credits too. Then, as I mentioned, Part B has the 20% coinsurance, but there is a deductible of $283. And then that premium is $202.90 per month. And that depends on your income, but that's mainly the standard. So just keep in mind, Part B is the medical portion, not the hospital. So those are your doctor visits, your labs, your x-rays, your MRIs, CAT scans, also surgeries, and then even the inpatient hospital care for that. Okay, so I did wanted to touch upon that. So, um, what is a Medicare supplement? A Medicare supplement is a private insurance policy designed to fill the gaps left by Original Medicare. It helps pay the deductibles, the coinsurances, and the copays. So the important clarification here is supplements work with Original Medicare. Medicare pays first, and the supplement pays second. So when you do go to the hospital, the doctor, labs, you're showing your original red, white, and blue card and your supplemental card from whoever insurance company you went with. So for Medicare supplements, you have the freedom to see any doctor nationwide who accepts Medicare. There's no referrals, no networks. If the doctor accepts Medicare, your supplemental plan follows you. This is why many people call supplements freedom plans, because you have that freedom and control to get anywhere you want without those referrals and networks. So the most common supplemental plan is Plan G. It's the most popular today. If you've heard of Plan F, that was discontinued in 2020 um, for those that are only eligible if they were 65 before 2020. So Plan G covers all Medicare gaps. You pay the Part B deductible, and it's predictable costs, very popular with new Medicare beneficiaries. There's Plan N, which is lower premium, small copays for some visits, and does not cover Part B excess charge. So depending on where you are in the nation, these prices might be much better than the Plan G, and sometimes it's not. There are those older plans and the high deductible plans as well, but those are probably the two most popular. Medicare supplement plans are standardized. So that means Plan G is the same coverage no matter which company you choose. The difference is the price you pay, the service with that insurance company, and the rate stability. So, what do supplements not cover? This is where expectations matter. Medicare supplements do not cover prescription drugs, dental, vision, hearing, long term care. You do need a Part D drug plan to go with your Medicare supplement plan, because if you do not, then you will be penalized 1% for every single month you weren't on a drug plan and you had to be. And then you could get the separate dental, vision, hearing, long term care plans because it is not a package deal. Supplement plans focus on medical cost protection and not the extras. So, this is a key difference from Medicare Advantage. Medicare supplement versus Medicare Advantage, this is one of the most important distinctions in Medicare. So, Medicare supplement is original Medicare plus supplemental. There's no networks, no prior authorizations, predictable out of pocket costs, higher monthly premiums, and lower surprise bills. So the biggest thing is that you are paying the upfront cost because you are paying for your original Medicare Part A and B premium, right? And then you're getting an additional supplement to offset that. So it is a monthly additional payment on top of your original Medicare premium. So it's the price you pay for getting a supplemental plan. Medicare Advantage plans, they are private managed care. They have networks. They have prior authorizations, copays, and the benefits do change annually. So in the past couple of years, benefits have definitely have caused a ruckus. It's been changing so much, so it's always good to review the benefits. Neither is bad as well, right? They're simply built for different people. Everyone has their different preferences, opinions, how they want care to be established, where they want to go. I would say supplements tend to work best for frequent travelers, people with chronic conditions, those who want simplicity and predictability. Like I mentioned, neither is bad. Medicare Advantage, for one, also, I believe, just depends on where you're at in the nation, part of where you're located, because depending on the private managed care, there are some really great medical groups out there and there's some not, right? So kind of depends where you're at if you have a lot of options on that. Like I mentioned, frequent travelers do have clients that do take a Medicare supplement if they are snowbirds. Let's just say they live in the East Coast in New York. When it is cold, they go down south to Florida. And so for those instances, typically people do like Medicare supplement, but not to say if you were in that same situation that you can't get Medicare Advantage because Medicare Advantage does cover urgent and emergency care outside of your geographic area that you do live in for those plans. So, not to worry about that as well. It's just you cannot go to a specialist doctor, try another doctor out if you wanted to, if you were just traveling around the United States. So now let's switch gears and talk about enrollment timing. This is critical. This may be the most important section of today's show. You do get a Medigap open enrollment period. This is when you are 65 or older and enrolled in a Part B and last 6 months. So, meaning like whenever your Part B is issued, you do have 6 months, okay? During this time, you don't have any medical underwriting. There are no health questions, no denial for pre existing conditions. Okay, so it's really important if you do have some pre-existing conditions and you want this type of plan, you do want to get it that within that 6 month period of you enrolling in Part B. It's crucial. I've met clients that I have now just for some reason missed it. 7th month, had heart conditions. We knew he couldn't get on these plans, so we always just find the next best thing. So keep that in mind. Okay, so if you miss this window, you may be declined, right? If you do have some pre-existing conditions, you may be possibly charged more or restricted from certain plans. Okay, so that is why timing matters more than the price at this point if this is the type of plan you wanted. So let me share a few real situations we often see. So the traveler, right? A client who RVs across the country, choose a supplement so they could see a Medicare doctor nationwide, right? So it's just traveler, just want to see anyone wherever you want. That would be a certain time where it's good to get a supplemental plan. So scenario two, what if a chronic condition, right? If a client frequently like visits specialists, wants predictable costs with no referrals authorizations. So this is like a client that when, we were below 65 on a group plan, maybe on a PPO, wanted to go to this medical group, another medical group, friend referred, another doctor. So you're just like going to all these doctors. They probably are not in the same managed care medical group, right? So that's also something. You just don't want those authorizations. But, depending on the insurance company and the medical group, those authorizations might not even take very long. So it kind of just depends on the case by case basis. And of course, some people make errors and don't even put your referral in. So that's like the biggest thing. Okay, so another situation would be a delayed decision. Someone waited years to apply for a supplement and was declined due to health changes. So Medicare supplements are easiest to get before you need them. So yeah, that's also one of the biggest things. Clients say, Jennifer, I'm pretty healthy right now. I don't need a supplement. I could do managed care. However, can I get a supplement later on, right? Later on, if I'm sick or just want that. And the answer is not just a yes or no. I mean, typically you probably want it if you are sick and if you have a condition that just declines it in underwriting or won't let you get approved, right? Because, like I mentioned, you only had that 6 month period to get a supplement without any additional underwriting. So that's the biggest thing on that. I have, let's say I have two cases where I met a gentleman and he actually found out he had cancer. And so he was getting his treatments, but it was taking like, say, 3 months to get his treatments. And he's like, I just want it as soon as possible. So I told him, let's try, right? Um, and so we were able to get him a supplement because sometimes there are underwriting like loopholes, or not loopholes, but there's just maybe 20 underwriting ways that we could waive underwriting. And I was able to help him out with that. So, I mean, he's really happy. He's like, instead of going to get my treatments 3 months, I'm getting them in 2 months. So little things like that, that could make a big difference in your care. That's something you wanted to think about. I also had another client. He wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle, um, but he was having troubles with his back. So he wanted to go to the top orthopedic surgeon in the county, and come to find out, those top surgeons were not um, accepting Medicare Advantage. So he wanted to get on a supplemental plan. I too, at that time, tried to find a way to get him a supplemental without underwriting because I think it didn't seem like he was going to qualify. So of course, we are here to help you, guide you in the process, help you get what you want, but I can never guarantee every single year, or if underwriting does change, what will happen. But um, we are here for these cases for you to make sure that you get what you want, and we do what's in your best interest. And I'm pretty good at figuring that out for everyone as well. And then let's go over again just the value, because many people, just like Jennifer, I want the most value from my health care. I don't need it now. So if you don't need it now, but you're just like, you never know what happens and you could afford a supplemental plan, then that might be a great idea. But if you're like, you know what, I want more value. I don't want to pay an arm and a leg. I am really healthy. Like these medical groups and these doctors, they take these Medicare Advantage plans. So I don't see any reason, right? And I've had clients that were kind of leery in getting to a Medicare Advantage plan. And I had this one situation with a client. He was new to Medicare, got him a plan, started getting some headaches, and like dizzy spells. Come to find out, he had a brain tumor. And within that brain tumor, it was just very fast. He needed to get operations really quick. And he was very, very pleased on the level of care, the quickness of the medical group, the doctor, and the insurance company. Like, and he didn't pay much. His maximum out of pocket on his Medicare Advantage plan was very low, less than 1,000. So in his case, it worked out well, right, for something as an emergency like that. But keep in mind, I think it also depends on the medical group that you are with and the insurance company, to make sure that things are going to work the way they should, right? And sometimes it's being your own advocate and knowing how these plans, these insurance companies, these medical groups, doctors, how everything is combined together to make your healthcare the most you can, right? Some people do love the extra benefits. So, how I look at it is a Medicare supplemental plan. It's like you do a la carte, right? You pick and choose what you want. And so you have like that freedom. So you just pick like, hey, I want 5 entrees, and a dessert, or two appetizers and a dessert, right? And some wine, something like that. And then a Medicare Advantage plan is like a five-course meal, right? Like you got your appetizer. Maybe you could choose one or two, and then you got your entree. Maybe you choose one or two or three, and then you got your dessert, right? And then whatever the sides, right? So it's more like package deal, and sometimes you can't pick and choose or substitute things. So that's kind of how I like to preface it, how a Medicare Advantage plan is more of like a packaged meal versus like a supplemental plan. This is like a la carte. Like I need the supplement. I need to get an extra dental plan. I need to get vision. I need to get a drug plan, right? So definitely, everyone's situation is different. Everyone's situation is different. Your neighbor, your friends, your family, while they can, unless your situation is 100% the same, you got to look at your own personal preferences, your doctors, your prescription drugs, because that's different from everyone else's, and how you want your care to be handled and treated, and go from there, right? And then logically, we do look at the cost, see which one would make sense. Sometimes clients want a supplement, but all their doctors are in like one medical group. So it's like, hey, my doctors take an advantage plan where I'm not paying anything. Like it just makes more sense, right? And it's just a lot of it is knowledge, right? Knowledge is power to make decisions for yourself and so forth. So that's definitely something we definitely help out with here. So, if there is one thing to remember from today's show, it's this: Medicare supplement plans are about freedom, predictability, and peace of mind. Okay, they are not for everyone. But for the right person, they provide that nationwide access, right? If you want to go to the top cancer institute, the Mayo Clinic in Arizona, you're able to do that. There are fewer surprises, right? Because you're paying your Part A, your Part B premium, your drug plan, your deductible, and your supplement plan, and you shouldn't be paying anything else. Less paperwork, but I caution sometimes billing doesn't know how to bill, or it's overlooked. So don't pay anything that you shouldn't be paying for. And just the long-term stability, although there are rate increases, it is very similar to, say, like a group plan that, you're in, and like every single year it does increase. Okay, so at Medicare 360, our role is education first, helping you understand how each option truly works so you could choose confidently. So thank you for spending this time with me. This is Medicare 360, where clarity always comes before coverage. My name is Jennifer Lee, your host, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Have a wonderful day.